A major function of the respiratory system is to bring oxygen into the body and to expel carbon dioxide and water vapor.
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello? Seen your lungs breathing soon as you came out the womb. I just wanna say, got your diaphragm to thank. Moving down your tummy, leaving room for that O2. Lungs start expanding, intercostal muscles grow. Move your ribcage upward soon as you breathe in that O. Air be coming in, travel down into your lungs. Windpipes be the tunnel, carry your air to your lungs. Through the bronchial tube, the air reaches your sacs. Through the walls in the lungs, O2 leaving for that blood. Hemoglobin aiding, moving O2 through that blood. At the same time, C dioxide rushing in. Pause. Hold up. Let me tell you about the parts needed for breathing. The trachea is a long structure made of soft tissue reinforced with cartilage. When you swallow, the epiglottis closes the entrance to the trachea to keep food or saliva from entering the airways. The trachea divides into two bronchi, with one branch leading to each lung. The lungs are the organs that absorb O2 from the air you inhale. The mechanics of breathing involve the muscle of the rib cage and the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle at the base of the rib cage. When you inhale, the muscles of the rib cage contract, causing the rib cage to expand. The diaphragm flattens and moves downward.
I'm breathing out if it's the last thing that I do. It's breathe out CO2. So I move my muscles and relax my ribs. CO2 out your lungs and up your windpipe. Cause I'm breathing out. Breathing out CO2.
When the air comes out and you've been running for a while, then the breathing speeds. It speeds up for you. If your airways are inflamed, then the breathing it slows. You will try to inhale, just to find asthma blocking.
Oh, you tell me it's all fine. Oh, you tell me it's all fine. But asthma's got your lungs, and you can't breathe quite right.
Anyway, bronchitis, acute bronchitis is a sudden infection of the airways, making it hard to breathe. Another respiratory disease is cystic fibrosis, which is basically when you can't get the mucus out of your lungs, leading to repeated lung infections. And emphysema is when lung damage allows air to be trapped in the lungs, making it hard to exhale.
Next, we'll explain how the respiratory system works with other body systems. The respiratory system brings the gases in close contact with the blood, which absorbs O2, and then the circulatory system carries the O2 to all the body cells and transports CO2 from the rest of the body to the lungs, where it is exhaled. Without the skeletal system, the upper respiratory tract would have no structure at all and would be nothing but soft tissues. There's a long perpendicular plate that is on the ethmoid, which helps to split the nasal cavity into two sides. This plate is what creates the septum in the nasal passageways. If the respiratory system doesn't interact with the laryngeal skeleton, you wouldn't be able to speak. The laryngeal skeleton, the cartilage that can be found in the throat, is considered the real vocal cords, which let you speak. As the air passes over the vocal cords, they begin to vibrate and create sound. It is the resonance of the throat, along with the sinuses and the thicknesses of the vocal cords, which create a unique voice for each person. The lungs that have receptors and sensors that react to deflation, inflation, and chemical stimulation. This can ultimately activate the nervous system, resulting in an uncontrolled response like a sudden cough or an altered breathing pattern. Next, we compare the human respiratory system with frogs, birds, and pigs. Frogs and humans both need to breathe to intake oxygen and expel carbon dioxide, and they both have lungs which they use to breathe. But how they breathe and use their lungs are very different. Humans breathe exclusively through their lungs, but frogs use their lungs for only part of their respiration. Frog lungs have thinner walls and are almost like balloons. They often fill their lungs to help them stay buoyant when swimming. Both species have bronchial tubes leading to the lungs, but human systems are more complicated, with many branching bronchial tubes. Also, frogs don't yawn like we do. This is mainly because they don't breathe through their mouths, only through their noses. We, on the other hand, have a choice of breathing through our noses or mouths or both. Frogs use muscles beneath their jaws to help move air, but their mouths stay closed while they breathe. Lastly, frogs can exchange oxygen for carbon dioxide through their skin, but it needs to be moist for the process to work correctly. That's why you typically see frogs near water or burrowed into damp soil. Frog skin is an efficient breathing machine, exchanging carbon dioxide 2.5 times faster than their lungs can. In comparison, humans eliminate less than 1% of the necessary carbon dioxide through the skin. The main job of the respiratory system of birds is to absorb oxygen and rid the body of carbon dioxide. In addition, the respiratory system also gets rid of excess heat, detoxifies some of the waste products of the body, and makes noise. Most noticeably, crowing noises, much to the annoyance of our neighbors. Like humans, birds have a windpipe and 2 lungs, but from there, birds are distinctly unlike humans. Airflow into a bird's lungs during the intake of breath. It continues through the lungs into 9 air sacs, and then it goes back out through the lungs again. Birds get 2 doses of oxygen for the price of 1 breath. The air sacs are arranged around the inside of the chest and the abdominal cavity, and they connect with some of the bones of the skeleton. Humans breathe with the help of the diaphragm muscle, which divides the chest and abdominal cavities. Birds don't have a working diaphragm. Instead, a bird moves its rib cage and keel, its breastbone, to draw air into the lungs and force it back out. The voice box in the chickens is called the syrinx, located down in the chest cavity where the windpipe splits to enter each lung. Both male and female chickens have a syrinx, so hens can crow too if they feel like it. The syrinx is an optional piece of an anatomy, though. A rooster can't live with his syrinx removed. A pig's respiratory system is nearly identical to that of a human. Like a human, a pig inhales through oral and nasal cavities, the nasopharynx and the pharynx, and transfers oxygen to bronchia and alveoli of the lung through the larynx and trachea. Gas exchange occurs across the membranes of capillaries in the capillary beds of the alveoli, in the various lobes of the lung, and again, like humans, the maximized surface area of these bronchioli and alveoli allows for high, efficient, and rapid expansion of oxygen from the air. And here's some fun facts about the respiratory system. The right lung is slightly larger than the left lung. Number 2, hairs in the nose help to clean and warm the air we breathe. Ready? Fun fact number 3, the highest recorded sneeze speed is 102 miles per hour. And fun fact number 4, the breathing rate is faster in women and children than in men.
The circulatory system is responsible for the flow of blood, nutrients, hormones, oxygen, and other gases to and from cells. It also helps the body fight disease, maintain homeostasis, as well as get rid of unwanted material. The circulatory system is composed of 3 independent systems: the heart, the lungs, the arteries, the veins, the coronary and portal vessels.
Yo, Miss B, let's kick it. B, baby. B, baby. All right, pump. Circulate and listen. Eat right or get hypertension. Shoot your heart right and your lips on 90. Blood flows like a river, daily and nightly. Will it ever stop you? I don't know. Turn off my bloodstream and it won't grow. White blood cells attack all of the vandals. Don't smoke or drink, we don't want no scandals. vocab. Here's what you gotta know. Ribosal, there's no nucleus, yo. Helpful, transports oxygen around, contains hemoglobin, and with all the girls shut down. Plasma, what's up? It's a liquid form of blood. Players form blood clots are also blood. If you got a cut, WBC's clot it. Check out my blood while my aorta pumps it.
Heart contracts, forcing blood through two circulatory systems. First in pulmonary, blood without oxygen enters the right atrium through the superior and inferior vena cava. Then the blood drains into the right ventricle through the right AV valve, through the pulmonary semilunar valve, and into the pulmonary artery. This is the only artery in the body that contains deoxygenated blood. The semilunar valve keeps blood from flowing back into the right ventricle. The pulmonary artery carries the blood that is very low in oxygen to the lungs where it becomes oxygenated. In systemic circulation, freshly oxygenated blood returns to the heart via the pulmonary veins. The pulmonary veins enter the left atrium. With the left atrium relaxes, the oxygenated blood drains into the left ventricle through the left AV valve. As the left ventricle contracts, the oxygenated blood is pumped into the main artery of the body, the aorta. To get to the aorta, blood passes through the aortic semilunar valve, which serves to keep blood flowing from the aorta back into the left ventricle. The aorta branches into other arteries, which then branch into smaller arterioles. The arterioles meet up with capillaries, which are the blood vessels where oxygen is exchanged for carbon dioxide. Now to the capillary exchange. Capillaries bridge the smallest of the arteries and the smallest of the veins. The capillaries allow materials that are essential for maintaining the health of cells to diffuse out. It is also necessary for the capillaries to transport waste carbon dioxide to places in the body that can dispose of them. Water diffuses in and out of capillaries to maintain homeostasis. Capillaries are only as thick as one cell, and because the capillary membrane is next to the membrane of other cells. All over the body, the capillaries' contents can easily move through the adjoining cells membrane and get inside the adjoining cell. Capillary exchange is how oxygen leaves the red blood cells in the bloodstream and gets into all the other cells of the body. Capillary exchange also allows nutrients to diffuse out of the bloodstream and into other cells at the same time. The other cells expel waste products after the capillaries pick up the garbage from other cells. The capillaries carry the waste and carbon dioxide throughout the deoxygenated blood to the smallest of the veins, which are called venules. The venules branch into a bigger vessel called veins. The veins then carry the deoxygenated blood towards the main vein, which is the vena cava. The two branches of the vena cava enter the right atrium, which is where the pulmonary circulation begins.
Next, we'll explain how the circulatory system works with other body systems. The nervous system is composed of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. The brain sends messages to the heart telling it to beat. The heart pumps blood throughout the body so that nutrients and oxygen can be brought to cells. The digestive system breaks down foods and takes out needed nutrients. Nutrients from the broken down food are introduced into the blood flow for cells to use as energy. The heart is a muscle, therefore the muscular system and the circulatory system are directly related. The expanding and contracting of the heart muscle pumps blood throughout the body. Comparing to other organisms with this body system, we'll first look at the frog. The frog is in a phylum Chordata, same as human, which means they are very close and have similar structures in terms of taxonomic classification and embryological development. One similarity between the circulatory system of frogs and humans is that they are both closed circulatory systems, which means the blood does not diffuse into cells directly like the open circulatory system does. In terms of heart structure, reptiles have only 3-chambered heart, 2 atria and 1 ventricle, while mammals like humans have 4-chambered hearts, 2 atria and 2 ventricles. Other organisms like the squid has a closed circulatory system with 3 hearts. 2 bronchial hearts are at the base of the gills that sends deoxygenated blood through the gills, and the third is a ventricular heart that pumps oxygenated blood throughout the body. Basically, a squid has 2 different pumps. The gill hearts pump blood under pressure to the gills, and the systemic heart pumps blood under pressure to the rest of the body. Unlike the circulatory system of the squid, the human circulatory system utilizes a single heart. This heart pumps blood only through the entire body and not the respiratory organs, lungs, instead of gills. The gill heart pump blood to the gills and function much differently from the human heart. They have only a single chamber and are located at the base of the gills. The The human heart differs from the ventricular heart of the squid in that it contains 4 chambers in a single heart instead of 3 separate hearts. The pig has a closed circulatory system with a 4-chambered heart. The fetal circulation has 2 adaptations for bypassing the inactive lungs. The heart is located in the center of the thorax. The top 2 chambers, atria, receive the blood returning from the body and lungs. The ventricles, the 2 bottom chambers, pump blood out of the heart to the body and lungs. 2 adaptations have been made for fetal circulation. The ductus arteriosus is a vessel that connects the pulmonary artery to the aorta, and the foramen ovale permits blood to enter the left atrium without first going into the lungs. These adaptations exist until birth and then shut tightly and separate as a tendinous band. The cardiovascular and circulatory systems of the pig are extremely similar to that of humans. Such similarity exists between the two that xenotransplantation can take place, with the heart of the pig implanted into a human. However, significant differences also exist due to the differing body types of the pig and human. Different postures create different overall shapes in cardiologic organs. In the human fetus and pig fetus, both develop vessels to bypass the lungs as they are not functioning during development. Vessels connect the pulmonary artery to the aorta, preventing the blood from entering the lungs. A small opening in the septum also allows blood to flow from the right to the left atria without entering the lungs. Diseases of the circulatory systems include arteriosclerosis, is where the fatty deposits in the arteries causes the walls to stiffen and thicken. This causes buildup of fat, cholesterol, and other material in the artery walls. This can restrict blood flow or, in severe cases, stop it altogether, resulting in a heart attack or a stroke. Another disease is hypertension, commonly called high blood pressure. Causes the heart to work harder and can lead to such complications as a heart attack, a stroke, or kidney failure. Another disease, aortic aneurysm, occurs when the aorta is damaged and starts to bulge or eventually tear, which can cause severe internal bleeding. This weakness can be present at birth or the result of arteriosclerosis, obesity, high blood pressure, or a combination of these conditions. And here are some fun facts about the circulatory system. Number 1, 2,000 gallons of blood travel through 60,000 miles of blood vessels. Fun fact number 2, an average adult has 5 to 6 quarts, 4.7 to 5.6 liters of blood, which is made up of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Number 3, across the animal kingdom, heart rate is inversely related to body size. In general, the bigger the animal, the lower its resting heart rate. An adult human has an average resting heart rate of about 75 beats per minute, the same rate as an adult sheep. And number 4, the heart actually can still beat after being removed from the body.